All right, song number 7, Ice Age, is nice and simple, so let's quickly get our bearings first. As the song first starts, this is the first thing you hear. That's a B flat, and I'll just come out and say that the entire song is going to be in the key of B flat major. There's no mystery here. In terms of chords, it uses a progression of 4 chords. Starts with G minor, followed by E flat major, and then B flat major, and finally F major. This progression is what repeats throughout the song. Now, if you arrange the chords a little bit differently, you can have something like this. In this case, what I did was keep the G minor chord the same, but when it came to the E flat major chord, I moved the G and B flat down by an octave. So it became, and then the B flat major chord, I moved the F down by an octave. So it became this. And then finally, F major, I kept the same. Doing it this way helps make the music flow more naturally. So what you actually hear is, as opposed to where you have notes jumping from high to low all the time. Plus, it's also just easier for me to play, so I don't have to keep moving my hands all over the place. So here's how this song goes with that chord progression. Yeah, this is relaxing. Even I can play this, so you can tell how easy it is. I can almost go on autopilot here, because once you know the theory, there's almost nothing to process. It all comes naturally. And of course, the chorus ends on the B flat again. No surprises at all. This chord progression is why the song can feel so familiar so quickly. Even if you don't know the music theory behind how all this works, your brain can subconsciously follow the pattern on its own. It's not going to have any trouble. And after Passion, which was super complex, it feels really good to be able to just rest your brain, sit back, relax, and just rock along with something straightforward like this. So let's drill into the chord progression a little more here. If you look at the B flat major scale that we're on, the first chord is G minor, which starts with a G, and that's the 6th note on our B flat major scale. The next chord is E flat major. E flat is the 4th note. The third one is B flat major. B flat is the 1st note. And finally, you have F major, where F is the 5th note. And so we call this the 6-4-1-5 progression. And this is a very, very common progression used in pop music. In my reaction video, I said this is your standard no-frills pop song, and that was no joke. You can probably find this chord progression in hundreds of songs, including this one. And some of GEM's own songs use this progression too, and this is where I have to emphasize that using a common chord progression by itself is not a problem. When I complained about Joker, it was because all his songs pretty much have the same pace, same instruments. I got confused about which background instrumental track I was recording over, so that tells you how similar they all are. They're all moody love songs about a breakup. Plus, if they still use the same chord progression, then that's too much. But with GEM, she still does unique things for each song, so they don't feel like rehashes. You were probably surprised to find out that the song has similarities to Despacito, and that's normal. These two songs are very distinct in lots of ways, even if they share the same chord progression. Out of the first 7 songs in this album, this is the only one to use a super common progression. All the other songs were highly distinct, so yeah, she can totally get a pass here. She's allowed to do this. The last thing I want to highlight here is that this song is the one that closes out the first half of the album. For the most part, the first 7 songs have pretty steadily stayed on the minor scale. This song is an exception where it actually uses a major scale to achieve a relatively happy sound. But even then, at best, we can only say that the characters in the MV here have come to terms with their situation and they're moving on with their lives. So they're not sad anymore, but it's not exactly a happy ending either. As we get into the second half of the album, you'll see that there's a complete turnaround, and the vast majority of the songs are going to be on major scales. So in this way, we can interpret the first half of the album as setting up the characters with all their difficulties. Now they have to work through their difficulties. And the second half of the album is going to be about the payoff, where their efforts finally come to fruition and they find happiness.